This session comes with a very exciting title because we'll be discussing today about dark side of internet, bad behaviors online. My name is Katarzyna Zygmunt Fernandez and I work for Dajemy Dzieciom Siłę Foundations, and I'll be hosting and moderating this session. Okay, the first slide, which is going to open the session, has been prepared, has been designed together with the Media Monitoring Institute. We've asked them to monitor the cyber states for 2 weeks to check how often cyber violence, cyberbullying is mentioned online. And as you can see, 160 mentions about cyber violence have been reported. And interestingly, it's not that journalists are writing about it, but internet users mention it on bulletin boards in their posts and comments. They reflect on cyberbullying and cyber violence. And all mentions from that period have been displayed, has been viewed 600,000 times just in 2 weeks of September. 600,000 views in September, 2 weeks. And there were 540 interactions on social media, likes, comments, shares, and the biggest number of interactions accounted for likes. So these are mentions, behaviors, and pics illustrating cyber violence and cyberbullying. Shares account for 27% of all interactions. So if a photo was shared, it was shared by 27% of users. So 68% of likes, including comments. So we tend to click like, but right now like is not only the thumb up. As you know, it stands for many other wows and supers and going wax lyrical about different things, so you can also click like to do that. Okay, so the first speaker today is Pooja Kumari of the Diana Award Project from UK, who's going to talk about cyber violence, about challenges, about trends faced by the UK and British educators, and how cyber violence presents itself in British schools. So hello and welcome, Pooja Kumari from the UK.
Hi everyone, my name's Pooja and I am the Policy and Research Analyst at the Diana Award. The Diana Award, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, it's a charity that believes that Princess Diana's legacy, that young people have the power to change the world, and we run a number of different campaigns with young people that focus on youth-led solutions. So one of our biggest campaigns that we run is actually an anti-bullying campaign where we train students, giving them the knowledge, skills and tools to tackle bullying both online and offline within their school communities. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the cyberbullying phenomenon in the English context, giving you some information about what the data says about England and what we do as a charity to try and tackle cyberbullying. So let me start off with looking at the data. There's lots of different surveys out there that try to capture the cyberbullying phenomenon. In my opinion, the best survey to look at is the longitudinal study of young people in England. It's the only major national longitudinal study where students are surveyed from their teenage years into adulthood. So it's the same set of students. And the sample sizes are quite large. So the first cohort, there were 14,000 14 to 15-year-olds. Second cohort, there were over 11,000. And the advantage of using this survey is that it's based on a random and representative sample of young people living in England. So you can look at the numbers from that and you're able to generalize and really see what is happening nationally. So what do the figures say? So the proportion of young people reporting bullying in the last 12 months in year 10 in 2014 was 36%. Cyberbullying was asked about for the first time in 2014, and just over 1 in 10 young people said that they had experienced cyberbullying in the last 12 months. And I think it's really interesting to look at the breakdown in terms of where incidences of bullying have occurred. So generally with bullying offline, it tends to happen in schools or on the way to school or coming back from school. Cyberbullying is different because it can happen at any time. And as you can see, over half of the respondents said that the cyberbullying incidences didn't take place in school. Now, this represents a really big challenge for practitioners and teachers in trying to address this issue. There's also a bit of a gender divide as well. So that's also reflected in overall bullying, but you can see that as well, females are more likely to be targeted. So just thinking about these challenges, there's a lot of different things to consider for policymakers in England. So online safety is currently taught through the computing curriculum. Personal, social, health and economic education is not a statutory subject, so students don't have to learn about it. And this is really the main way in which students would learn about online safety and cyberbullying. So that is a big challenge. Policymakers in England at the moment are trying to push through legislation to try and ensure that this is a statutory subject. I think as well, schools need to consider some of this data in their approach. There's obviously some gendered patterns of behaviour that needs to be considered in response. For example, girls are more likely to be cyberbullied, but at the same time, what does this dimension look like for boys who are more likely to play online games? Teachers also report that they need further training to ensure that they have the knowledge and confidence to deliver e-safety education and to respond to any safety issues. So in terms of the approach of the Diana Award, through the work that we've done in schools, we have really experienced the transformative effect of what we call the power of the peer. And this approach shapes everything that we do with young people. And it's the idea that young people are best placed to influence one another. And when you provide young people with the platform, the skills, the knowledge, young people can enact positive behaviour change amongst their peers. And this can be said with online behaviour as well as offline. So the rationale behind this approach is that thinking about when a bullying episode is taking place, young people often take very different roles. And so research is moving away from the idea that bullying has protagonists as just a target and a perpetrator. Actually, peers take on other roles such as assistants who help carry out the bullying, or reinforcers that check that the conditions are right for bullying as well. This all can be mimicked online. And bullying often escalates when bystanders do nothing. So bystanders are young people who witness the bullying, online or offline, and react with indifference and don't do anything about it. They just let it happen. And research shows that actually these bystanders are trapped in a social dilemma. They don't want to react with indifference. They want to do something, but research also shows that they feel ashamed about being a bystander, but they are sort of aware of their own needs for security and worry about the consequences of what would happen if they took action. So thinking about this and thinking about why young people are best placed to tackle cyberbullying, peers have direct knowledge of complex relationships that happen within peer groups. And bullying issues often originate from peer groups. And so students, as a result, are well placed to help one another, whether it's online or offline. So the Diana Award works really closely with Facebook, and we have created an online tool to help educators use Facebook in a way which empowers young people. So what we've done as an organisation, we've created a microsite on Facebook where we provide young people with knowledge and tools to empower them to stay safe. So we've created all these video resources. So just questions that young people may have. So can I tell if I've looked at someone's Facebook profile? What if I keep reporting something but nothing happens? And this really just helps young people to understand some of the tools on Facebook to help them stay safe. So I'm going to show you an example of one of the schools that we've worked with on how Facebook can be used to tackle cyberbullying.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm 16, I have one brother who drives me crazy, but I love him really. I love singing, going out with my friends, and between you and me, I'm one of those people who's slightly addicted to watching cat videos. I love spending time online watching YouTubers, chatting with friends and gaming, but something happened recently that really freaked me out. A few days ago I went out with my brother and bumped into some girls from my old school who used to pick on me and basically make my life a living hell. Without my knowing, the girls had taken pictures of me, and this morning I woke up to this. I thought that the bullying would be over since I left that school, but those girls are still managing to make my life hell. I didn't know what to do. Oh my god, it's Jack, the anti-bullying ambassador in the year above me. Oh god, I really hope he hasn't seen that photo. What does he mean, not nice? Oh my god, he's seen the photo. Did he mean the photo being posted or what he saw? Why lie? I'm not okay. He won't reply. Nobody cares, it's just one big joke. Wait, does that even work? Oh, I'm not sure about this, as if making a report is going to make any difference. Oh, I feel awful, I just want to wrap myself up in bed. This is so embarrassing. Oh god, the comments are still coming in. Right, well, I'm just going to give reporting this a go. What's the worst that can happen?
Katie's report came here to Facebook's community operations team. It's the team that looks at potential abuse reports from users all over the world. We looked at this particular report and we felt it was against our community standards. So we took it down, and we took it down really fast. Reporting to Facebook is completely anonymous, so nobody will know it was Katie who reported the actual content.
Support inbox, what's this? The picture was gone, the comments were gone, and my social media life was a whole lot more secure. Bye bye bullies! Hello Jack.
So that was just one example of how Facebook can be used to...
I'm standing up to bullying. I'm standing up to bullying.
I'm standing up to bullying.
Я против хулиганства.
I'm standing up to bullying.
We're standing up.
I mean, it had to happen at some point in the day, so... Okay, so we've created this online activism guide for teachers and students. So it's aimed to help educators working with young people on student-led schemes to prevent bullying and support young people who are being bullied. And it's to help teachers really understand the potential that Facebook pages has for students involved in anti-bullying schemes, to support their peers online, raise awareness of bullying, and ultimately encourage positive behaviour both online and offline. So I'm going to talk to you about this case study school called Sharnbrook Upper School. So just a bit of context, it's quite a big school located in a rural area in England. It's got 2,000 students, which is larger than average. It's a secondary school, and it's quite a successful school. They've been involved with the Diana Award since 2012, and they have student anti-bullying ambassadors who run campaigns within the school. So because it's a large school, the school's always looking at different ways they can use to support students and deliver key messages. So what happened was the students were placed in charge of creating a Facebook page, and they were responsible for posting content, and what they found was they had a number of challenges in doing this. So it was creating fresh content which was engaging with the students, and sort of interacting with the students online, but they overcame these challenges by scheduling content which allowed them to program lots of different posts regularly, and it was a whole team effort as well. And soon after they set up the Facebook page, they actually won a competition. They created a video, Action Against Bullying, where the idea was that it was supposed to just be for the school, and it was about not letting words define who you are. And what happened was they posted this video to their Facebook anti-bullying page, and they had over 13,000 views. So it really shows the potential that these pages have in reaching a wider audience of people within the school community. And what else they did in terms of the Facebook page, they also provided support online. And here's a quote. So our team felt that sometimes students who are being bullied feel very isolated and don't necessarily have the confidence to come talk to us or a staff member. However, a lot of these students are on Facebook, so we think this is a great way of reaching them. Based on the work we do in school, we post advice on our page. So there's an example of a post: who should I tell if I'm being bullied? And this really shows the mindset of the students. You know, some of them in this team have been bullied themselves, so they can really connect with the plight of those who are being bullied online. Another thing that they do is that they're ambassadors within schools. They use this sort of promote their role as well. So they started posting these student bios, and this really helped to get their faces out there to the rest of the student body as well. So students could go to them if they're feeling unhappy offline as well as online. And also Facebook pages played a really big role in sharing the culture of the school too. So a little initiative that they ran was doing this pledge board. They got lots of people to sign it, and then they posted it onto the Facebook page. And this really helps to reinforce some of the messages that are taking place offline, online as well. And from a staff member's perspective, the staff bullying lead actually noticed an increase of students that were coming to approach her about any concerns and approach the ambassadors about any concerns they had about being bullied online or offline. And they found that generally the engagement with the work had increased, which is a really positive thing. And here's a quote from a student's perspective. So, as a group, using Facebook pages has been easy for us as we all use Facebook anyway. It has been good to learn about the features of Facebook we weren't familiar with, like the scheduling tool and page insights. it's been really rewarding to see people both inside and outside of our school community liking our page and being interested in the work that we're doing. We have had local mental health charities liking our page and even sharing our posts, which has been great recognition of the work that we do. It's great that people are using our page to help spread the message and get the word out there that bullying is not acceptable. So this really shows the interest that this has generated, not just within the school community, but just in the local community as well. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is this idea that there's, and it's been touched upon in the day already, that generally in terms of helping and supporting students who are experiencing cyberbullying, there's a wealth of resources available, and it was touched upon that, you know, this varies depending on which country you're in. But in the UK, there is a wealth of cyberbullying resources available to young people. You know, our organisation provides a lot of help online. But there was recently an audit of these resources, and they found that it varied in content and quality. And they tackled, and the resources tackle preventing cyberbullying and providing support. However, the resources in the UK were skewed towards prevention rather than coping. And there were no obvious resource which seemed to occupy a more prominent position than others. And the quality of the resources are highly variable. So this obviously is quite concerning and, you know, a huge issue for policymakers in the UK to consider. So some of the recommendations I'd give to policymakers is to ensure that there's a more systematic way of accessing support for young people who are being cyberbullied. Obviously, we provide support through empowering other young people to help each other. But, you know, that only really applies to the students that have been involved in our programme. And we have worked with a lot of students across the country, but, you know, there is an argument that there's a need for something more systematic. It's clear that the cyberbullying resource space is crowded. And, you know, it's important to think about what the reach of some of these resources may be. And, you know, there's real need for having perhaps a one-stop shop. I'm not sure whether any other European countries offer this, but even just one place where, you know, students know, actually, if I want help with X, Y, and Z online, I can go here, because at the moment the market is quite diversified. So yeah, I have some copies of this anti-bullying activism guide. If anyone is interested, I've left them at that table over there. There's only a few copies. I couldn't fit lots into my suitcase. But yeah, that's everything from me.